birthday channel? Checking in. Jonathan here with another Home Gym Week in Review. And so many people want to know how to climb the YouTube ladder to success. Today I'm gonna show you. The first step is to get a really solid ladder. And the next step is to simply just make some bad choices. We have Bells of Steel getting hit with some really bad PR. We've got Home Gym Con sponsorship updates, Rep Fitness walking the walk and talking the talk, and we've got some crazy mug madness, as well as, hey, a whole lot more. On the last Home Gym Week in Review, we mentioned that Rep Fitness had teased some YouTube videos of their upcoming modular storage system, and no sooner had those come out than they actually just dropped it. They didn't actually leave it hanging very long. They knew they could read my mind that my credit card was cruising for a bruising. And this modular storage system is great in terms of really honing in on building out a home gym specific to your space, your setup, your equipment. And this goes in line directly with your PR4000, with your PR5000, with your Athena, with your Aries. Now these things, yeah, they're not cheap, but when you take a breath, take a step back and look at the other comparable equivalent on the market, they're actually coming in well under what others are charging for similar heavy-duty product. And as we know, when you want to get a premium product, you do have to pay a premium price. Now, for those that are tight on space, they actually have in-rack storage. They also have behind-rack storage as well. For those of you that really just want to expand, if you already have an Athena, if you still want to get that kind of storage setup, they've got a ton of great options. And I will say, this is what people are clamoring for. They want to be able to specifically pick items that are going to match their equipment, their lifting style, their gym space. But for a lot of people who were trying to go out and seeking something similar to this on the side, it was extremely expensive to begin with, and then they ran the risk of it not lining up correctly, it not matching in terms of the colors, and some people even had to become their own welder in order to get the setup that they wanted. Now, is your credit card going to take a bit of a hit? Yeah. It's not going to be that pretty for a while, but buy once, cry once is the motto. And if you want high quality stuff and you want to really tailor it to your specific gym space, this might be the way to go. And if you think that the prices are expensive, because they're not cheap, I would argue go try to find something comparable and see what that price point is. I think you'll come right back here. I want to know from you, comment down below, would you pay the extra money to get not only a premium product, but to get something specific for your home gym space? Bells of Steel. Not exactly having the best few weeks here in the home gym community. They pulled out of Home Gym Con and got a ton of flack for it. And then to add insult to injury, Gluck's Gym reviewed their new leg press hack squat machines and didn't give it a very favorable review. And I feel like we all love to beat a dead horse. We love to kick a person when they're down. And I think we need to analyze whether some of the flack and negativity towards Bells of Steel is warranted. Bells of Steel was one of the first companies to sign on to Home Gym Con 2024. They love to support the home gym community, and so it just made sense for them to be there. With less than 4 months to go, Bells of Steel decided to simply pull out. They realized that the expense to bring their Canadian employees down to staff the event was going to be too high, and the return on investment just wasn't going to be there. If it was just a vendor pulling out of Home Gym Con, that wouldn't be that big of a deal because there's like, I don't know, 79, 80 vendors in total, so you wouldn't even notice them not being there. Unfortunately, they had sponsored the powerlifting meet, and a lot of powerlifters were simply gearing up their programming, their schedule to take on this powerlifting meet, and now they aren't because the powerlifting meet is canceled. Now, while the people who signed up are going to get their money back, it still leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. Now, I fully recognize that Bells of Steel, like every other home gym equipment manufacturer, is a business, and they need to make sure that they're putting money towards something that's going to give them a high return on investment. And frankly, I can see why they would back out of Home Gym Con, because most people who go there, they're already familiar with Bells of Steel. They already know what Bells of Steel sells, and I'm almost certain that the bean counters at Bells of Steel did the calculations and realized that they could take a quarter of the cost of Home Gym Con and simply run Facebook and Instagram ads to generate even more sales than Home Gym Con would bring in. Now, they really kind of shot themselves in the foot because right off the heels of canceling on Home Gym Con, they started advertising for the Arnold. They are going to be at the Arnold Classic showcasing their wares. And I guarantee you the expense to be at the Arnold was much, much higher. My only reasoning that they would go forward with the Arnold versus Home Gym Con is because they probably already guaranteed that money. They probably already paid that money to the Arnold Classic and couldn't get a refund versus Home Gym Con. No sooner do I wrap up my Home Gym Week in Review and sit down to make a nice relaxing video about creatine, then Bells of Steel decides to do a complete 180. That's right, they are back, baby. They're back at Home Gym Con 2024. I have to imagine the main reason is their marketing team told them every time they post a highlight from the Arnold Classic, they're gonna get so much negative press, so much negative flack that it was just cheaper to
pay that man his money.
Has the damage been done? Should we kick Bells of Steel to the curb? Here's your hat. What's your hurry? The truth is, Bells of Steel is still a great company. They've got employees that they have to pay, and every decision they make has to deal with their finances because at the end of the day, they're responsible for putting food on a lot of people's plates. And there's still a company that does a fantastic amount of charity and good positive work in the home gym space. Not only that, they're one of the few, and I do mean the few, companies that actually ask for and appreciate an honest review when it comes to their equipment. And the hits keep coming for Bells of Steel. They are now being sued by none other than Rogue Fitness. Rogue Fitness claiming that Bells of Steel infringed upon Rogue's patents for their deep dish plates, their wall-mounted foldable rack, and a few other items. Rogue Fitness, one of the only home gym equipment manufacturers with patents and the money to enforce those patents. Previously, they had sued Titan Fitness and won for intellectual property theft. They've also sent out a number of countless cease and desist orders to smaller home gym equipment manufacturers. I need to thank all of you for using my affiliate links, which are in the description of today's video. That not only helps pay for future content creation, it does keep me plush in triple ply toilet paper. Or when you use those links, let me know so that I can send you a small token of my appreciation. In a previous Home Gym Week in Review, I mentioned the release of these Strength Co. American-made Crumb bumper plates, and I thought it would only be fitting to get my hands on them, give them some use, and give you my honest first-hand opinion. But I need to come clean. I've got no Strength Co. affiliate code. I've got no skin in the game. But openly and honestly, I really like Strength Co. as a company. Main reason is the owner, Grant Brogy, a United States Marine. He's a starting Strength affiliate, as well as the fact that he is extremely generous with his time and has a very well put together YouTube channel. Strength Co. supports a number of veteran charities, and they only make American-made equipment. Enter these bumper plates into the chat. So let's talk about some of the positives when it comes to these American-made bumper plates. Number one, American-made bumpers are few and far between, so more on the market is a good thing. Number two, these are not just Crumb bumper plates. These are recycled Crumb bumper plates with a urethane binder, meaning they're going to be extremely durable, whether they're on your horse stall mats or if you're just out on concrete or gravel. These things are going to be virtually indestructible. Now, Crumb bumper plates typically have a very significant bounce. I found these to be bigger or more of a bounce than your typical bumper plates, but unless you're dropping these things from like overhead and you're 6'4", it's not that big of a deal. One of the major downsides with these bumper plates is that they are thick, super thick, like your mom. I will say that it is gonna be something you're gonna have to get used to. They are tough, especially if you've got feminine hands like I do, to pick these things up and mount them on a barbell or even take them off, especially if you're doing deadlifts. It can be an extreme nuisance. The rings that this bumper plate uses are recessed, meaning these are not going to have metal on metal contact when you have a bunch of plates loaded up and you're just getting after it. But I will say that does speak highly to how long these ultra durable plates are gonna last you. Now, when you buy American-made products and you're supporting American manufacturing, you can feel good about it. But unfortunately, you're also gonna be paying a bit higher of a price than the Asian counterpart. I will say, coming in at $2.10 per pound, delivered to Boston, these are pretty affordable as bumper plates go, let alone American-made bumper plates. Like most things in life, if you end up buying in bulk, you're gonna save yourself some money. I did the calculations for a pair of 45-pound plates just to keep things easy on me and make you able to compare apples to apples across other products. Probably the biggest downside when it comes to these plates is that they're not original, okay? They're not on a unique design. When I said most companies aren't making American-made bumper plates, I wasn't kidding. I mean literally a handful. And StrengthCo, they reached out, in my opinion, to Homegrown Lifting, and they had them just simply slap their name on the Homegrown Lifting Crumb bumper plates. Now that wouldn't be a problem because, hey, that's a lot of the Homegym equipment that you see on the market these days. The problem lies in the price point. Because StrengthCo is technically like a secondary supplier of these Homegrown Lifting plates, they do have to bring up the price. Now, if you go to the Homegrown Lifting website, and still, again, American-made business, American-made products, American-made manufacturing, you can get the same pair of 45-pound plates with a different company name for $1.57 per pound, delivered here to Massachusetts. And it is hard, at least on paper, to pay over 50 cents more per pound to get the same exact thing, same exact quality, same exact product, and made here in the good old US of A. Homegym Con. French Lick, Indiana. Now, I have tried everything under the sun, even a few shady things as well, in order to figure out a way to get out there, create a bunch of content, press the flesh, see a bunch of people in person, and just overall have a great time. Unfortunately, the companies that I've reached out to, the few that actually got back to me, said they didn't have the funds to sponsor me. Now, all of these companies were really nice, and they said that if I'm out there, they'd gladly let me create content for them. Now, I know Homegym Con is gonna be a fantastic time. It's gonna be crazy, it's gonna be lit, as the kids say. And while I know I would have a fantastic time out there, I know I would shoot copious amounts of videos. I just don't have the wherewithal to come back home to find myself with a massive travel bill and weeks of content to edit. Rep Fitness continuing to add to their very impressive home gym lineup and dropping a new upgraded version of their existing benches. Now, this is something that I saw coming a mile away, in part because they kind of told us it was coming. And number two, last week they actually reduced the prices of their benches, and today they have since released the clear coat options for their AB5200 as well as their Blackwing. A ton of people were waiting for this clear coat option to be dropped in the Blackwing as well as the 5200, and because it is an extremely manual process, no two clear coat benches look the same, and of course there is a price increase. So with the Blackwing, you're going to be going from $600 to $665, and with the AB5200, you're going to go from $500 to $590. Number one, it's absolutely worth it. I know it's a massive price increase, and that is hard to kind of choke down, and it kind of puts a strain on the credit card, but these things look better in person than the photos online would indicate. Number two, they feel amazing. You're gonna get kind of handsy with them. One extremely important word of caution when it comes to clear coat, and that is, once you go clear coat, you're gonna want to throw out all of your home gym equipment and replace it with clear coat options. So be warned, if you get that first piece of clear coat in your home gym, it probably won't be your last. So the world has gone absolutely mad, unfortunately. People are going crazy for these cups. It's nuts. So flashback to April Fools, Alico releases some fake massive cup with knurling that's super heavy. No one can lift, no one can use. Well, people want it. They demand it. Obviously, Alico wants to fill that demand, and they sell out. Now, we've got Rogue. They've one-upped them. They have one up them by not only making a massive cup that no one's ever going to use, charging $400, there's like some type of insert to it on top of that. Now, I don't know who's going to be buying this. Clearly, it's not to drink out of. Clearly, it's try to impress some of your friends when they come over. You get like a ha-ha, hoo-hoo laugh when you pull it out and have them try to lift it. But it's crazy. It's like the Stanley Cup phenomenon where people want to get these cups that are frankly not really convenient and rather useless. I mean, people need to stop chasing fads like ice baths in the wintertime. Fringe Sport has literally dropped a brand new product. They're Silverback dumbbells. Now they're selling these in a complete set from 5 to 50 pounds, and they do look absolutely fantastic. I will say these are coated in rubber, so they're your typical hex dumbbells that are fully knurled, but they are coated in rubber. That does include the handle being coated in rubber. Now I've tried similar style hex dumbbells that have rubber coating, and honestly, they feel a lot better than you think. You would think that the rubber coating would actually not necessarily make for a good grip. Not the case. Now, they do have a lifetime warranty on manufacturing defects, and Fringe Sport did something that they were known for years ago. They went out there and they dropped them, and they actually put out a nice video, and I wish more companies would do similar stuff where they just took them to a high point and let it rip to see if those dumbbells would hold up, if they would show up all dented. Now, I think the biggest issue people are going to find with this is that they only go up to 50 pounds. And I know a lot of you people are super strong, but the majority of dumbbell sets that are sold today in general just happens to be 5 to 50 pounds. It just happens to be where most people will find they want that pair of dumbbells. It's the most affordable. Also, for most people, they're doing dumbbells as auxiliary movements, so they don't need to do massively heavy weight. Now, many of you want to see my home gym and garage gym tours because so much in them has changed since the previous one. And I went on my community post to see which you wanted to see first because they obviously take a bit of time. And I wanted to just kind of get the one out that people were most interested in. And by almost a 2-to-1 ratio, we've got the basement gym tour. So while you will get both of those tours, eventually you're going to get the basement gym tour first. The YouTube algorithm is running wild in your search history, and they know these two videos are exactly what you're going to want to watch next. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you and I are officially best friends like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.